some other tidbits from Moscow, Idaho's 2022 annual report. They had a new police station, or in, I think it was in 2021 actually, or 2020. Okay, so I just want to find the bit I'm looking for. It's a bit further down, bear with. So yeah, Ragnar was introduced, long-awaited addition. And so this, okay, so they had a forensic detective, Eric. God, this is a very difficult name to pronounce. Sureness. Where do you think that comes from? It sounds Swedish or something, I think. I might have to Google it. Yeah, up until September the 29th. You know, I feel like it's somebody in the police department or somebody close to the department, if not the police department, somebody close to, because look, I feel like they knew that it was I thought that, you know, with Moose Lodge being on and there being lots of veterans, it might affect the number of boots on the ground. But then when we look at the body cam footage from that was this week on Truth and Transparency, we can see that there were quite a few cops around at 10 o'clock, because when they pull over, even though they're just walking, they pull over this couple, at least 2 police cars go past while they're there. I mean, mind you, it was a busy night, wasn't it? It was like it was deliberately chosen because it was such a busy night, or there was a lot of out-of-town folks, or it was some kind of opportunistic thing from some outsiders. There were the knife-throwing folk were from Montana and Colorado, at least those 2 states. There might have been another one as well. But then, well, what I was going to say about it being an inside job is what's going to be about the fact that it was Veterans Night and the forensic detectives just walked out the door in September. So he retired after 6 years of service with the Moscow. My son just flushing the toilet then. I hope you can't hear that in the background. I hope you can now that I've said it, really. After 6 years of service with the Moscow Police Department, Detective Sureness began his law enforcement career in 1991 with the Union County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina as a dispatcher. I don't know if we need to go through his whole career, but the forensic detective left in at the end of September, basically. I heard somebody on a YouTube channel the other day say that they had heard, so it was somebody phoning in, or somebody phoning in who had heard that Brian Kohberger worked for Pullman Police Department. But that would be because they've acted shifty about this whole thing. So, and the fact that they, you know, how they got to him and everything. So imagine if he did, in fact, he was one of their own kind of thing. But would they? I mean, I think they would. I feel like they've done something wrong. and they've tried to hide it, because the fact they were saying it's a targeted attack and everything, it's like they knew who had done it. I mean, maybe there were, we've seen the police logs, but have we seen everything that was on there? What if there had been some phone calls to the police department and they hadn't taken it seriously enough? I don't know, I just feel like there's something they're hiding. What do you think? So Sergeant John Lawrence retired, as I said, and then Payne becomes the detective retrospectively after the investigation's already started. Some promotions. I just want to see if it's in here about, I might have to go to a different report for it, about the drones. I think it might be in the report when Brett Payne actually first started, because I think he already had the qualification when he started. Right, if it's not at the bottom of here, I'm going to have to go to a different report. Shot with a cop. There's this thing, Fraternal Order of the Police. They've even got a frat for the police. The FOP is an organisation consisting of sworn law enforcement officers nationwide. The local chapter, Palouse Lodge 149, is a memorial lodge in remembrance of fallen MPD officer Lee Newbill. 149, Officer 149. The FOP is a non-profit organisation which relies on the generosity of individuals, organisations and corporations. So they had a softball game, police and fire softball game fundraiser. No Shave November. It's just called Movember. You don't need to call it No Shave November. The Thanksgiving Turkey Dinner Drive. I wonder when that was, because wasn't it Thanksgiving? I'm sorry, I don't really know when Thanksgiving is, or apart from that it's in November. I wonder when the Thanksgiving Turkey Dinner Drive was. A year-end silent auction and police member Christmas party. So what does the money go towards? Multiple Moscow families. My God, my neighbour's son is really loud sometimes. Anti-crime team, Palouse anti-crime team. Drug enforcement efforts. Oh, let's have a look at this. So, Moscow drug seizures. The Moscow community joined the rest of the country in witnessing a substantial, consistent rise in mental health issues along with increased drug use. This increase continued to make a profound impact on our community, with an increase in overdose calls and thefts associated with narcotics addiction. The popularity of illegal drugs shifted frequently as users were constantly seeking drugs that were most available, cheaper and easier to use with the most satisfying high. It's like they've interviewed one person. Yes, I'm looking for the most satisfying high. Could you possibly point me in the right direction? The following graph presents drug activity in our community. Grams of meth, 596.4. Grams of fentanyl in the form of pills, 412.5. No, sorry, that's how many pills. 412.5 seized. Coke, 20.9 grams, heroin 2.1 grams, and marijuana, there's not much heroin being seized, 630.8 grams. That's quite a lot then, because if it's weed, it's light. The Moscow Police Department continues to work hand in hand with the Latar recoveries. What killjoys on the marijuana front, I'm going to say. Everybody in the world and their wife smoking weed now, Idaho. Get over it. No, we're the same over here. It's illegal over here, but it's not really enforced, to be honest. I don't really think the police particularly... They're not looking for it particularly, as far as I'm aware. I mean, maybe they are. I suppose they'd be bothered about a big kind of operation, maybe. Well, they would, yeah, they would. But I think they definitely turn a blind eye to... I mean, you wouldn't stand there with a joint in your hand in front of them, obviously, but it's not really. It's one of those things that's just a bit of a blind eye to it, I think. Nobody goes out anymore anyway, as far as I'm... Well, I don't know if they go out. I don't go out anymore. COVID put the mockers on it. I don't know what that means. Put the mockers on it. It means it stopped, but I'm not entirely sure where that's come from. But I don't know if it's picked up again. But there was a bit of sort of a coke problem in my hometown. As it goes, they're all on it apparently. Right, canine team statistics. Oh dear. Well, I think that's disappointing. Well, they've got that dog, and look at this. Oh my God. They did 3 in one weekend, and this is all they've got to show for it. They've had it all year. 31 grams of meth, 10 pills of fentanyl, not even a gram of heroin, and not even 4 grams of marijuana. Oh my God, that dog. You need a new dog. I think that dog just wants to be a pet for Officer Snyder. Quad Cities Task Force. Okay, Quad Cities. Who are the Quad Cities? Moscow Police Department continue to partner with the Quad Cities Task Force and prosecuting attorney offices in Nez Perce, Latar. I don't get it, because isn't Latar the whole county? So Moscow's part of Latar. Oh, well, I suppose, yeah, okay. Asotin, Whitman. It's weird how Washington works with Idaho. I mean, Whitman works with Idaho, even though it's in Washington. And Garfield counties, I think Garfield might be in Washington also. Along with the Nez Perce tribe. Why is it called the Quad Cities? There's loads of cities here. There's loads of places here. Washington State University and Washington State Patrol. Oh, Washington State Patrol and Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms to collaborate in the investigation and prosecution of drug offences in their respective jurisdictions. See, they're so obsessed with flipping drugs and alcohol that they missed a flipping quadruple homicide that was going on right under their noses. Well, they appear to have missed it, unless there was some, I don't know, something funny, unless there's something funny going on. And I mean that more, that it happened earlier and they were aware of it earlier. I don't know. Because this person with the mask, can I help you? I mean, I'm going to play you a clip at the end of this. And this guy thought exactly what I thought by this person saying, can I help you? No, not can I help you. I'm here to help, sorry. Right. Cases worked. In 2022, 69 arrests. They've doubled their arrests. 60. Well done. You've got more people into the prison system. Well done there. Heroin seized. Uh-oh. I mean, did they seize it all last year or something? But because this year they've only seized 17.55. And last year, look at that. And last year they seized, oh my God, look how much meth they seized last year. Now, is it just because it's moved on? Or have they just been, it's because they got that dog. It's a bad omen or something. Cocaine seized. They got lazy because they got the dog. They're like, yeah, we don't even need to look for the drugs. The dog will just sniff it out. And the dog only comes back with this measly amount. Look at it. Ragnar, what have you been doing? Probably looking for food if he was my dog. That's what you do, isn't it, Milo? He doesn't want any drugs. You don't want to sniff drugs, do you? You want food. Oh, they didn't get... They were on to the fentanyl this year. That's what's been going on. Look at that. Nothing last year. Look how much it's increased. There must have been a massive increase. Oh, my God. I bet that's not just because they... I mean, it's obviously been an explosion in fentanyl use. Bloody hell. They have a prescription drug take-back programme. I think Lana did an episode regarding that. They're not taking back as many drugs as they were in 2018. Oh my God, I can't read that. What is this? Oh, stats of offences reported, murders 4. Offences cleared 4. You haven't cleared it yet. None reported last year. No negligent manslaughter, no justifiable homicide, thankfully. 2 rapes were reported this year. Offences cleared, none. No robberies, 16 aggravated assaults, 5 cleared. 60 burglaries. Bloody hell. 25 cleared. So they've had a massive spate of burglaries by the looks of it. 272 larceny. I don't even know what larceny is. What is it? 61 cleared. Motor vehicle, 10 vehicles stolen as well. Because what if somebody was trying to nick the car? And what if, what's his name, came out? Ethan, they hear the car being started, he gets into a fight with them. I mean, for all we know, one of the cars could have been taken and they could have replaced it with... Oh my God. Too many conspiracy theories. They could have been taken, the police could have replaced it with another one to make it look like it wasn't taken so that nobody knew. Or maybe they were just trying to get into a car and Ethan and Xana Ethan might have heard it, might have confronted them, and then that happened. It wouldn't surprise me if it was something to do with cars. All those nice cars at the front, that'd be the biggest reason to go in there. Not to go in there, but to be there. But Steve apparently Steve Gonsalves said something about they had no reason to go upstairs, right? So that was taken to mean that they were looking for something in that like room downstairs, that spare bedroom. And there was golf clubs in there, Ethan's golf clubs. I don't know what else was in there. I mean, somebody could just try and get some golf clubs and they happen to have a knife on them. But then why? That would mean that those girls, they weren't in bed, because nobody's going to go upstairs and unless the... I mean, once they'd... I don't think they would then go and venture upstairs after getting into an altercation with two people downstairs. I think it would have to be that they ended up in an altercation with other people, unless there was two of them and it was supposed to be a burglary, and then one of them was... Because that's happened before, with one being a bit of a perv, basically, and so the one person's intended to do a burglary, the other person's takes it a step further, and I mean, they, as far as we know, they weren't sexually assaulted. But I think that's been missed before because of it. Well, it depends. It depends if the person fought back and how they sexually assaulted the person. But yeah, it doesn't sound like it was, so we won't go down that road. 3 arsons, 66 simple assaults. It's a terrible name, a simple assault, isn't it? There's simple battery as well. It's like, what? Don't call it simple battery. Intimidation. No intimidation, apparently. That's because you didn't write any bloody reports on it. Bribery, none. There's been a bit of forgery, 9. A lot of vandalism, 118. 77 narcotics violations. 62 drug equipment violations. No embezzlement. 3 extortion or blackmail violations. 46 fraud. I wonder what it was, credit card fraud or something. No gambling, no kidnapping, 1 pornography charge. Now, surely it has to be like child pornography or something. Seems weird to just have it as a pornography charge. You can't just charge somebody for pornography, can you? No prostitution, no sodomy. 2 sexual assaults with an object. Jesus. No fondling, no incest, 1 statutory rape, no stolen property, 5 weapons law violations, no, as far as they know, no human trafficking, commercial sex acts, as far as they know, no human trafficking, involuntary servitude, 1 animal cruelty. I think we know what that was. Was there another bit? Yeah, there's more over here. What's this? Arrest reporting. So what was that then? That was offence reporting. So arrests, 1 adult for murder. I think we know who that is. 32 for burglaries. I thought there were only... Oh, yeah, so I suppose they were just not found guilty. Larceny, which I still don't know what it means, 63 people arrested for that, 29 people arrested for simple assault, 11 for vandalism, 72 for drugs violations, 16 for drug equipment violations, and 1 for animal cruelty. Hold on, 2 for weapon laws violations. So the rape wasn't solved, or nobody was arrested, or the sexual assault. Right, Group B arrests, bad checks, none. Curfew, vagrancy, 2. People are being what for being homeless? Disorderly conduct, 10. DUIs, 65. Drunkenness, 0. 65 DUIs. Liquor law violations, 69. Glad you got your priorities right. 0 peeping toms arrested, 0 runaways, 1 trespass, and 47 all other offences, which we do not know what they are. That was enlightening, wasn't it? Roger Lanya, because he left, didn't he? Oh, hold on, he's got something to do with drones. The Operations Division provides all patrol functions, the Field Training Officer Programme, roll call training, crime prevention, bicycle patrol, the Traffic Safety Unit, and the newly implemented unmanned aerial vehicle, i.e. a drone programme, and narcotics detection canine programme. The division is also responsible for response to all calls for service. Return to normal since COVID in the beginning of the year. Four retirements and 5 resignations compared to 2 successful new officer candidates resulted in a net loss of 7 patrol officers in 2022. As a result, several of the speciality positions in the police department, such as traffic, SRO, what's that? Don't know what that stands for, general detective and campus officers, spent time working in patrol to ensure adequate staffing. The Lee New Bill Kids Safety Fair. I'm going to pass up on that one. The highlight of 2022 was moving into the new police facility. No, it was in 2022. They spent an absolute fortune on it. What about those street lights around that road? That's what you could have spent some money on. I can't believe it's just horrendous. It's horrendous here, but it's not. I mean, but then again, you would have said it wasn't a dangerous area there. But I have absolutely no street lighting here either. But these are new builds, and for some reason they're more concerned about the flipping bats than they are about people living here. But to be fair, there aren't loads of young students living here, and I really feel that, you know, those are young people, you know, their parents are entrusting the city of Moscow and the university to keep these kids safe, and they're living in a street with no lighting. It's just so unsafe. And you think about how many people in all those flats that are around there. It could have been anybody. If it wasn't Brian Koberger, it could have been anybody. During 2022, the operations were not anybody, but anybody. Do you know what I mean? There were lots of people living in that area. There are 2 blocks of flats where 2 blocks of apartments where Queen Road apartments are, and then there was a row of houses or flats going along as well down Queen Road. And I don't think there were many students living in those apartments either. There could have been some right dodgy people living there. I bet there was. Right. They were running on a 12-hour shift model in 2022. So their shifts was 6 till 6, 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. Staffed by 4 teams, each comprised of 1 sergeant, 1 corporal and 2 to 4 officers to provide 24-hour community policing services. I eat my words about what I said about, because, they said they spent a lot of money on 90,000 plus some more on gas. Well, I said, we have seen it. To be fair, we have seen a lot of officers walking around, but I looked again at the video. They always take cars with them. Even when there's 2 of them, they're in 2 different cars. Casey Green and Nate Rosendahl, when they did the noise complaints in that daytime one where they go to the boys' house and then the girls', I realised both of their cars are parked there at the corner, so opposite the turning for Queen Road. And then I've looked at other footage, and they've almost always got they're all arriving in different cars. Like the one with the ride along guy, and there's one where they go to the Queen Road apartments. So no wonder they're spending so much money on gas. The Operations Division incorporated a variety of specialised approaches to patrol the city of Moscow, including 11 marked police vehicles. Well, 11 marked police vehicles, so that means a basic police car, doesn't it? 1 Harley Davidson motorbike, and several police bicycles, including 2 e-bikes. I've never seen any of them on e-bikes. Bicycle-trained officers used, or on normal bicycles. Bicycle-trained officers used specially equipped police bicycles to patrol the downtown campus and residential areas. Police bicycles provided several advantages over patrol cars and motorcycles, allowing officers to patrol at community events where other modes of transport were restricted. Patrol officer shortages limited the officers' ability to use patrol bikes. They're all getting each in a car, that's why. Resulting in fewer bike miles during 2022. Officers also logged 668 patrols on foot, primarily in the downtown campus and business areas. Each patrol team was under the supervision of a sergeant. The sergeant was responsible for all patrol activities during their shift, including resource allocation, personnel management, report approval, citizen concerns, and policy and procedure compliance. The sergeant managed the work and training schedule for officers assigned to their team and made recommendations for ongoing training as needed. Sergeants are the first line supervisor and must be good leaders, mentors, and decision makers. And yet they sent a corporal to the flipping quadruple homicide because police services are available on a 24/7 basis. Sergeants make all operational decisions in the absence of command staff outside of normal business hours. Patrol sergeants for 2022 were the following: Dustin Blaker, David Hathaway, I've never heard that name before, Shane Gunderson, and Joe Severding. I haven't heard of him. I've seen his face, but only through this report probably. When they were not responding to calls for service, officers conducted proactive patrols of residential and business districts. business checks, extra patrols. Yeah, we know what those were. Alcohol patrols. Oh, my God. Wasting your time. And citizen contacts were all part of the daily routine for each team and part of the community-oriented policing philosophy. Community-oriented. You're just getting revenue off these kids whose parents have entrusted them into your flipping community. You're just making money off them. Right, total calls for service, 11,200. Suspicious calls, 736. Vehicle accidents, 701. Burglary alarms, 210. Citizen disputes, 50. Animal calls, this doesn't surprise me, 756. There's always animal calls on there. Mental hold transport, 11. That does surprise me. Theft, 370. Parking complaints, 379. 911 hang-up calls, 223. Malicious injury, vandalism, 165. Abandoned vehicles, 244. University of Idaho related calls, 1,172. Bloody hell. Wow. I wonder how many there were last year. Welfare checks, 575. Felony arrests, 48. Misdemeanor arrests, 91. Warrant arrests, 71. Noise complaints, 347. No surprises there. Agency assist, 179. Burglary calls, 47. Domestic disputes, 265. Alcohol offence, 58. I'm sure there was actually more. I'm sure it said more on the other page. Found property, 404. Threatening, 92. And they said there were no threatening calls. VIN checks, 200. Traffic offences, 437. Drugs, 179. Weapons, 19. Fraud, 196. Missing persons, 35. Runaways, 32. Harassment, 226. 226 cases of harassment. Traffic stops, 3,706, because they want to get your photo onto their database. Business checks, and if you haven't, please watch the facial recognition video. I don't know which one I'm putting out first. So if it's not out already, it'll be coming out soon. Business checks, 2,257. We've already looked at these new patrol officers. K9 programme, we looked at that. Bike officer programme. Here we go. Drone programme, new. Have we looked at this yet? Another new programme implemented in 2022 was the unmanned aerial vehicle. The same year as they had 4 homicides. They had a stalker and they also had a drone programme. See, there's another point towards the possibility of it being something to do with somebody linked to law enforcement. Not saying law enforcement necessarily, but they got this drone programme. The driving force behind researching and implementing the UAV programme came from a series of calls where large areas needed to be searched in an effort to locate vulnerable individuals. 2 of these cases did not have favourable outcomes. 2 of these cases did not have favourable outcomes. The manpower and resources needed to search for these subjects was tremendous and very time consuming, especially at night. The process of ground searching is also very inefficient. The UAV is able to scan large areas very efficiently and is equipped with infrared. Yeah, it could make people lazy though. And they'll just do that and then they won't go on the ground. But sometimes there are things that you can see better when you're close to an area. Somebody can hide in a hide somewhere that's unseen from above. A doorway or a beneath a tree or something. And there are plenty of trees. Allowing officers to conduct night searches just as effectively. I hope they're doing ground searches as well as air searches. As the department began to research the capabilities of the UAVs, the drones, let's call them what they are, it became clear that implementing a drone program would greatly improve our ability to efficiently search large areas quickly. With infrared technology, searching at night for individuals is also very efficient and fast. Additionally, the ability, but yet they still had 2 people. Hold on, is this 2 of these cases did not have favourable outcomes? And that's from this year. That's when they've got the drones. They've got a dog and they're not getting as many drugs. What? As the department began to research the live feed capability will assist in special operations such as SWAT team deployments, high-risk calls. This programme is supervised by Corporal Brett Payne. The programme is certified through the Federal Aviation Administration and 4 officers have obtained or are obtaining their UAV operator pilot's licence. So it wasn't just Brett Payne who could be looking above these people's... Because there is... after they brought in drones, they have had to bring in, and I don't know if they brought it in everywhere, but like there was concerns about privacy, and they've had to bring in laws on that. And I don't know how recently that was. I just read something about it recently because I was thinking about this. Right, that's what I was looking for anyway. But I think there's also in the report when, I think 2018, when Brett Payne joined Moscow, I think there might be details on there about his drone knowledge. So I'll have a look and see if that's of any interest. And if it is, it'll be coming your way. So many thanks for your time and congratulations if you got to the end of all this. Well done, and well done me for reading it all. Right. Other things to look out for: facial recognition episode or video, and also something called parallel construction. There'll be a video on that coming out soon, which is quite interesting. So that's all for now, folks.